Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to install and run macOS Big Sur on your Windows 11 machine with the help of VirtualBox. For those that don't know VirtualBox is a tool that helps you run multiple operating systems on your virtual machine. So I can run Windows, macOS, Linux and many other operating systems here on my VirtualBox. Now the first thing we have to do is download and install VirtualBox. So open your browser and then search for VirtualBox. So you can see the first page over here, Oracle VM VirtualBox. Click on that, and by the left click on downloads. So you can see VirtualBox for different operating system, but we are installing VirtualBox on our Windows machine, so select Windows host and it should start downloading. Now the next thing you should download is VirtualBox extension pack. So if you look down here, you're going to see VirtualBox, Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So click on all supported platform and it should start downloading. Now one last thing we have to download is Big Sur ISO file. Now the link is provided in the video description, so you just head to the page and you can see download over here. So this file is 16 gigabytes, so I advise you use an internet download manager if your internet connection is not stable. So I already have this file downloaded, but you just have to download. Remember, the link is in the video description. So let's close this. Now let's open our download folder. And you can see over here, this is our ISO file for Big Sur macOS. This is our VirtualBox and this is the VirtualBox extension. So first, let's install VirtualBox. Next, proceed. So VirtualBox has been installed successfully. Now click on finish. Now the next thing we have to do is add the extension pack, and to do that click on files up here and then under tools click on extension pack manager. Now click on install up here and then select the package, which is Oracle VM VirtualBox extension we downloaded. Click on open and then click on install. Scroll down and then accept the terms, agree, and you can see Oracle VM VirtualBox extension has been installed successfully. Now we can click on this tab over here and then go back to the welcome page. So we've successfully installed VirtualBox and VirtualBox extension. Now the next thing we have to do is to create a new virtual machine where we are going to install our macOS Big Sur. So click on new up here. Now let's call this machine macOS. And then you can see the location of our VirtualBox machine, so you just leave that the way it is. Now ISO image over here, click on it and then select others. Now this is where we have to select our ISO file for Big Sur. Remember, it is in our download folder macOS Big Sur, which is 16 gigabytes. So we have to select the ISO file from here, open, and you can see our machine name is macOS. This is the ISO image, and the type here, set it to macOS X, and the version, set it to macOS X 64-bit. Now click on next and then select the base memory or RAM you want to allocate to this machine. Now you shouldn't allocate more than 60% of your RAM to your virtual machine, else it will slow down your host computer. So I have 16 gig of RAM in my PC, so I can allocate about 5 gig of RAM to my virtual machine. Set the CPU cores as well. So I'm setting 3 since I can run up to 8. So I'm setting 3 and then next. Now select the amount of storage you want to allocate to this virtual machine. So you shouldn't give more than what you have. So I'm just going to give it about 89 gig. I think that should be okay. Now click on next. So you can see the details over here. Once we click on finish, it would create a new virtual machine. So let's click on finish. So you can see our new virtual machine has been created and you can see the details over here. Now we are not done. Click on settings up here and then click on display. So the video memory over here, increase it to 128 and then turn on enable 3D acceleration. Now whenever you want to change the RAM, you can just go to system and then increase the base memory, or you can actually decrease it if you want. Now we'll go to general up here and then under basic, copy your machine name, copy it exactly as it is here. So just copy it and then click on advanced So you can see shared clipboard, drag and drop. So let's enable this bi-directional so we can easily drag files from our window to our macOS once it is installed. So this will actually allow free file transfer to and fro. So select the shared clipboard to bi-directional, drag and drop bi-directional, and then click OK. At this stage, we have to run a command, so when we are running the installation, our system would appear to look like an iMac, so this installation can go smooth. Now head to just paste link, which is in the video description, and then copy this code to your notepad. So just copy everything from just paste, copy it. The link is provided in the video description. We can then close this and then open notepad and then paste it right there. So it should look like this. Now press Ctrl H and then find this text called VM name and then replace it with your machine name. So let's just copy this VM name, paste it there, and then replace it with your machine name. Remember, I told you to copy your machine name since we are going to need it later. So our machine name is macOS, so let's paste it there and then click on replace all. So you can see it has now replaced everything with macOS and everything is good to go. Now for me, I'm using an SSD and the drive has the symbol S, but normally it should be C. So if we check our file explorer, you can see drive C is supposed to be your default drive, but I'm using the drive called S. So make sure it is actually the correct drive. Now for most of you, you don't have to change anything here, just leave it the way it is. But for me, I'm changing it to S since the drive I'm using has the symbol S. Now let's open command prompt, cmd, right click, run as administrator. Now we have to paste in each line from the notepad. So copy the first line, copy, and then paste it there, hit enter. Now copy the second line, paste it there, paste in the third line. Now paste in the fourth line, paste in the fifth line as well. So just paste everything one by one. Okay, sixth line, and then the last line, hit enter. Now we can exit our command prompt and then close our notepad since we no longer need it. Now we can boot into our macOS and then start the setup. So click on start. Now select the language and then continue. Now click on disk utility over here and then continue. Now go to VBox hard disk media up here and then click on erase. Now let's call this macOS and then click on erase. It has been successfully erased, so now click on done. Now we can close this disk utility over here by clicking on this X up here. Now we can proceed with the installation. So click on install macOS Big Sur, continue. Now click continue. Agree to the terms. Select the drive which we formatted earlier and then click on continue. Attention guys, this may take a whole lot of time. In my case, it took less than 1 hour to complete the installation, but this depends on your PC hardware, so you just have to wait patiently. So now we can begin the setup of our macOS Big Sur. Now the first thing we have to set is the region and country. So set it to your region or your country and then continue. Also select your language and continue as well. So I will just go with not now. I just want to ignore this for now. So just go with not now. Continue with the data and privacy. And the migration assistant, we are going with not now by the left over here. so I don't want to transfer a file from anywhere right now. Sign in with your Apple ID if you have that already, or you can just keep that and then you can set it later. So just click on setup later. So we are going to skip the Apple ID, but you can actually sign in, accept the terms and conditions over here. Now if you notice, this is a little bit slow, and that's because macOS is actually heavy on our VirtualBox. Now once we are done with the installation and setup, it should be working fine. You could also allocate more space to your own installation if you want it to perform better, but after the installation this should be better. Now fill in your details over here and the password which we are going to use to log into our macOS, and then hit on continue. Now we can continue with the Express setup, so just continue with the analytics. And for the screen time, I just want to set up later, so click on setup later by the left, and then you can enable Siri if you want, but I don't really need this feature, so I'll turn it off and continue. Choose the layout, either you want dark mode or light mode, but I'm going with dark mode. You can also set it to auto so it would switch. You can change this later, so there is actually nothing to be worried about. So let's hit continue. Now this may take some time, so just wait patiently. This is literally the last stage of the installation. And we are good, guys. So this is how to install and run macOS on your Windows machine with the help of VirtualBox. Now we can remove the installation media and then start our macOS. Everything is actually working and you can do whatever you want here. So let's shut down. Now we can open our VirtualBox and then go to settings, go to storage, and you can see the ISO file over here. Right click, remove attachment, remove. Okay, now let's start our machine. So guys, you can see we can now log in. So basically, this is how to install macOS on your Windows machine with the help of VirtualBox. This is mainly for research and development purpose, so if you have anything you want to try out on macOS, then this is your chance to do that. If this was helpful, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.